the opening, right? The reason why I was, acting obtuse, partly because it was fun, but mostly because pointing out those factors that are true, we still give her the reverence and respect that we would a wife and how they should represent, right? But she worked. She was accomplished, right? To get a JD, you have to work hard, right? And then it says she's a lawyer. I would assume she was an attorney, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's an attorney.
Right. So she got her JD and then she had to pass the bar, right? To practice, you know? And then the husband, right? Because he's accomplished, he can practice in his basement, if I'm not mistaken, right? And so he had his own office.
Yeah, he was in the hospital too, delivering babies, but
Yeah,
he was
delivering babies,
mostly
right?
in the home office.
But what we simply looking at is, right, there were dynamics in which it almost seemed like she took charge. Can I say that?
Well, I don't think it's that took charge. She was just the person that was more involved with the children, as a woman should be. So as we're trying to, like you said, jokingly assess her working, she still was a mother in spite of. She was incredibly
Yeah.
involved with the children when she was around. So I think, being go ahead, Eric.
She's a site manager, and the house is the site.
So yeah, so I think she was a delegate, supervisor or leader through her husband, being that he was there more because of, eventually his practice moved into his home, which crazy as hell, because like I said, I think he's right. I think Cliff was an OBGYN, so I don't know how the hell you're gonna be pussies and deliver babies in the basement. It's crazy. Yeah. But either way, you feel me? Of course, whenever she was there, it was her job, and she did her job very well as to being a parent to the children.
Yeah, but in those instances, right, she would take charge, right? Now I think that what Christopher J said is uberly important. They agreed on the structure of the house, right? But what we see based on this archetype, it's an agreement amongst the both people. So when they confronting the young old man, right? She's saying her piece, Cliff kind of sitting back because that's the dynamic, right? And then she was able to say, okay, chill, right? When he was about to escalate, right? That's the one person in the earth that should be able to do that to you.
Exactly.
Right. Essentially. But I'm just pointing out the facts that she had a whole lot of modern prescriptions. Well, prescriptions, right? So the working, the PhD, the being successful, right? To voicing her opinion, she take control of the kids, which I think that's pretty general. But I'm just wondering, how far is she actually? And it's a show, right? But we try to say, be like this. But what does that actually look like? Are we assessing it entirely? Or are we only assessing the parts that we remember?
No, I'm assessing the fact that she's not like coming out the side of her mouth when she talks to her husband. I mean, yeah, she's allowed to be a human being, but she's not like just thoroughly and blatantly disrespectful. She's, you know what I mean? She's not overly sexualized. She's a woman of class. She's a woman. She's disciplined. I believe that if we could assume that household vision is his, and she's the one that's driving it. You know what I mean? Like he's the captain of the ship. She's second in command. She's got to run around with the whip, executing the captain's will.
Now watch this. Cliff ain't running around saying to her, sex, silence, and sandwich. He ain't running around saying, I just want you to shut up. As long as you're pretty enough, I can get you out of McDonald's.
That's the point. She's not. She wasn't like just constantly nagging him and badgering him about shit, or just talking his head off about dumb shit.
What I'm saying, yeah, fine, right? Yeah, I agree. But listen to what I said though, right? Because I'm trying to make it make sense. You think Cliff was telling her sex, silence, sandwich?
No.
Right? You see what I'm saying?
No.
I'm listening at all the things, right? And then we want to model as a fleece or after Clair Huxtable, but look at her prescriptions.
He wasn't telling her that. Why would he tell her something that she's already performing in?
Okay.
There's times that she sat there trying to lead him, you know what I mean, trying to seduce. So we know the sex is there. We can see she's not badgering him with anything he's not willing to talk about. And the sandwich piece, I mean, I don't know who was cooking. It looked like they both cooked. He looked like he liked to cook, especially on that grill. I mean, so
yeah,
the sandwich
that was one of the things they highlighted about Cliff. Cliff like cooking, making food, and preparing his own food for the most part.
Yeah. Sandwich don't exist in my house or the house I grew up in. The men in these houses, we like to cook. Get the fuck out of the kitchen. We don't want a sandwich. Yeah. I got the sandwich. Move.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do y'all think about this dynamic then?
I think it's realistic. I think she's doing what nobody's perfect, right? And like you said, there are modern prescriptions that exist. And I think what this does is it says, here's how a modern woman can still maintain her identity as a modern woman, whatever that is, but still check the boxes needed to be a wife. Still, this is how you submit to your husband, treat your husband. Don't talk to your husband sideways. Don't have your hand out all the damn time. Be willing to contribute. Be valuable, especially if you went and got some degree. Make that shit valuable to the house. Mother these children. Don't give me too much shit. When I'm wrong, and I'll concede to that. Okay. Don't hang on to that shit too long either. But don't you know?
All right. But yeah, I'm just because I just wanted to point out those things, right? And but you see how I can be a way, right, to look at those traits and make them seem negative. When I was earlier in the show, right, when I was y'all two little niggas versus me, right, I could angle her working, her coming home late, her talking in the moment, and I can make it feel negative to where y'all had to defend it. But what if it's just actual?
Well, no, that's easy to do whenever you're looking at something realistic. Without absolutes, there's always going to be a devil's advocate position that you can play.
But why, Aaron? So if a person, but more specifically a woman, gets her JD and then passes the bar to be an attorney, because somebody put it in the chat and said that she got Cliff out of it, or Cliff out, what's the boy name?
Theo?
Out of a jam over a t-shirt scam or something with a phone call. So that must mean she practiced an attorney, right? But the I'm a PhD shit was leveraged in a way because it was said that those women have a natural proclivity to be less submissive. But then we use Claire as the gold standard, but she's more accomplished, you can argue, than a PhD.
Yeah, but well, let me say this. This is the thing. It's not just the PhD aspect of it. Again, it was the in total encompassing of what a woman was in those days versus now. So women back then could be whatever, PhD, doctors, whatever her thing was. She never put herself above the man. Okay. It was a total different look and ideology and understanding of what the woman's place was and the man's place was. That's what that whole relationship and the family dynamic was supposed to be. We are a couple. We work together. We don't try to work against each other, so on and so forth. I never emasculate my man. I'm here to support him. I'm here to be a mother and a wife and, do everything or anything that's needed for my family to succeed. Now, we fast forward.
Okay.
Marriage is for broke hoes. Okay. Or marriage is sex work. Okay. We don't need these niggas. I don't need no man. I can do bad all by myself. I'm strong and independent. I got a PhD. That's the part that it graduated to in a negative situation, where now you push the man out of the way and the man is an accessory versus being the main focus and being the head and the leader. So that's why when you do that, we have to put it. We can't just say and compare it as to now as to then. No, then women of all across the board in the early, early 80s, right? Early to what? Even what? Cosby Show would have been like mid 80s, I think. But anyway, during that time period, it was still understood that, hey, husband and wife is the way things supposed to be and the way it should go. But now the future is baby mama. All these chicks out here getting pregnant before they get married. They ain't even thinking about getting married. You know how many chicks pregnant right now? You feel me? And the relationship don't even last through the pregnancy. So that's what we're talking about.
So she maintained, just to surmise it, she maintained her femininity while being accomplished.
Yes.
Yes, she didn't leverage her accolades against him. She didn't call him a broke ass, you know what I mean, or anything like that. She wasn't trying to like diminish his position in the household or emasculate him. She wasn't on that 50-50 shit. You know what I mean? She looked at her career as just a value that she could further bring to the household, which is something that a lot of modern women today, they don't see their education as. They see it as a baseline on which they can determine what man they qualify for. It's here's the bar or up, right? In order to get my hand in marriage, but this should be of no value to you. This is not a pot. You should never look. Yeah.
So just real quick, until Aaron's point, that's another great point that Aaron just made. The most important part, like you said, Hamp, they would be on equal footing. Doctor, lawyer, that's pretty much close to even, right?
This is the ultimate 50-50 household.
Yeah,
well,
so
500.
Like you said.
So who complaining? So who complaining then, right? Think about this, Mr. Fantastic, and then you can go ahead and finish your soliloquy, right? You see people that are equally yoked with higher incomes get divorced less. So think about that, right? Has it changed? Or you have accomplished person with an accomplished person, and they figure it out, whether it be because of how much they got to lose, whether it be because they see things in a similar facet, whether because money makes things a little bit more, I guess, easier, right? Money just makes things less, like you don't have as much pressure if you have a disposable income.
Finance is always like top 3 in the reasons for the divorce. Yeah, and the more finances you have, the easier it is. The less problems you have.
I'm just thinking about it, right? Who's getting married? Who's failing? Like what's actually happening? Because let's say, because we see divorce rates decline higher than income when both people are putting in pain.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? So, and that's a problem when we look at and juxtapose it, like I guess focus it to the black community, as we're still I don't, because Hispanics have some of the lowest they don't have extremely high divorce rates. Of course, the lowest divorce rates are all is Asian. Okay, they make the high, but then too, I think it's a lot more to it than just income brackets. At the end of the day, you feel me? Black women still have the highest divorce rate, regardless. Point blank, period. So, and that's what and what people don't understand is that is what is it? What's the name of causation? Causation and
correlation.
Yeah, correlation and causation. So that's what always gets left out of this thing. Well, black men are doing so bad. Well, if black men are connected to the people that have the highest divorce rate, the only group of people that have a higher divorce rate than marriage rate, how can black men succeed? You literally cannot succeed when you're carrying that much of a deficit as a partner.
So here we gotta address, right? So just respond to this rebuttal. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
We be fucking the most bitches.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, there you go. So
why we married?
It's right there. Now you're on to it. When you went to the whole marriage thing, that's too far down the road as far as the decline in the rate of divorces. What's happening? I think the appropriate question to ask is, what did those women do to get married to those men? Do you see what I'm saying? Because when you started, it was you have these women that are educated out here, right? And that's supposed to be a good thing because there's the decline in the divorce rate among high earning couples. The question you got to ask is, what did that woman get? What did she do to get him to get into that position? And that, I think, is the difference between women that leverage their accolade against a man and women that are willing to work with a man. Now, as far as men fucking all the bitches, as you eloquently put, that is a shortcoming that I'm not going to go against, and it must be corrected for sure. But it doesn't really lend much credence to this particular conversation because the archetype of the woman that's under scrutiny.
So she was doomed to fail?
No, because they're not. As you said, that there are high earning couples that do well. The question is, what did they do? And I think honestly what Claire was doing.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if y'all answered my question. I don't know if y'all answered my question directly.
All right, ask it again. So make sure.
Cause it was they got the highest divorce rate.
Who?
Right. Black women.
But that's what I'm saying. So Hamp, do you understand what I'm saying? And to the slow people in the chat, Hamp, if let's say 50% of the people in a group make less than money, right?
Yeah.
Even with the people that's making $100,000, what is that going to do? It's going to bring down their average
Mm-hmm.
because you have people that have a very, very low thing. So what people love to do is, well, black men have the highest divorce rate too. Duh, dummy. You're married to the women with the highest fucking divorce rate at fucking 85%. It's something you can't get divorced without getting married. So black men are going to suffer and be made to look bad because of how bad black women are. And again, this trends, this bullshit, the bullshit lie that they was telling 30 years ago, that shit been exposed too. Black women are also getting higher divorce rates and fucking interracial marriages too. Y'all get divorced more than fucking than Asian women, Hispanic women. Y'all might not get divorced more than fucking white women in interracial things. I think white women have the highest divorce rate, period. All right, of interracial shit because they marry them the most. So the women that have the highest percentage of interracial divorce, interracial marriages, of course, would have the highest rate of divorce, right? But it's by that thing. So I hate when people try to use stats.
I got a question.
Numbers, but go ahead.
Do you think it is the lack of this Clair Huxtable archetype that's leading to the results that you're highlighting?
Clearly, that's what it is. Women aren't marriageable. Women aren't marriage material, and we didn't even got to the important aspect that she was talking about. Listen, they'll give you their pussy before they give you the damn name. Him, you talking about who are we niggas fucking so much? Niggas ain't fucking their hands. Niggas got to get we in America, right? Him. So if niggas fucking, they got to be allowed to fuck, right?
Yes.
All right then. So then don't hold the man motherfucking accountable for what you're allowing him to do. These women want to get pregnant more so than they want to fucking get married. That's why I say everybody keep putting the onus on the man. The man's not the problem. Men are the ones who fucking, like I said, men across all races, men control marriage. We still believe that, correct? Men control marriage. Men choose the women they want to fucking marry. They propose to them and ask, and they go through with it. But if the woman, and how many, I've never heard of, who says the most Hamp? Oh, I've been engaged 3 times. I've been engaged 4 times. I've been proposed to plenty of times. The highest number of women I ever heard say that, black women. So how you gonna blame niggas for not getting married, but brag about getting proposed to be married too? And then have all these kids on top of it. So again, the sexual impropriety loves to get thrown. Oh, niggas is fucking too much. Well, if niggas is fucking too much, who letting them fuck? If niggas is out here making babies, who letting them make babies? But you can't have that conversation because the man. No, motherfucker. Pussy preservation is a new conversation.
Do you think more of these engagements would convert to marriages if this archetype was still alive and prevalent?
Clearly, because black, and this is why, and Aaron, you can see it. And again, the increase, the black men have had, I'm gonna say like a 10%. Somebody help me on the chat. Shout out to my man's in there. One of the brothers to keep up with this. I'm pretty sure black men have had like a 10% increase in interracial marriage since COVID. I want to say.
I think it was like 5%, right?
Or 5%. Between 5 and 10%. So again, black men's marriage rate is going up, Aaron.
Do you think in that population, the higher earning portion
marrying white women is not a flex, bro?
I'm not saying, but it's not. I'm not saying it's a flex. It's not just white women, but I'm saying we're not talking about the race part, Aaron. I mean, Hamp. We're talking about marriage. So listen, what I'm saying. Black women keep talking about, oh, these niggas want to get married. These niggas want to get married. These niggas want to get married. Okay, cool, fine. Well, that's not true. You can see that. And again, the fact of the matter that they can't appreciate you, CJ,
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So listen, what I'm saying. Black men's success in a short period of time is showing you that we're not the issue and the problem. We're not the issue and the problem. You can't say, oh well, it's not. It's white women, it's Asian women, it's Hispanic women, it's women all around the world. So what I'm saying is everybody loves to point at the black man when the black man is still getting married. Black women are the only group, man or woman, that has a higher divorce rate than marriage rate. What does that tell you? The only one.